Hi Muffins, this is going to be a video to go over our lesson from class today. So you want to open up your IMB and you can pause this obviously at any time and then go ahead and type in the highlighted words that are on this page. So if you want to like pause the camera for a second and type in the highlighted words on the page, that would be a great thing. Okay, so sorry, I'm like a little out of sorts today. Okay, so these are the words here. We're going to do evaluating expressions. And algebraic just means variables are in it. And to evaluate means to substitute and simplify. So in order to substitute the numbers and variables, you always want to put parentheses around numbers as you substitute them. So that's super important. You are also going to then, after you substitute, just use order of operations. So I'm going to go through these 3 questions with you. And just make sure you're copying them on notebook paper, and then you can take a picture of them and upload them into the interactive notebook. Okay. And like I said, if you have to pause the video or rewind it at any time to get the stuff copied in, that's fine. All right, so for the first one here, I'm going to take this value and I'm going to, let me use like pink, I'm going to substitute it in here and here. And I'm going to plug in -8 plus 7 minus and then -8 squared. And so once you substitute it in, we're going to follow our GEMS order of operations. And we're going to be very careful about that -8 squared. And I'll show you in Desmos here in a second why. So the first thing I'm going to do is look for my grouping symbols. There's one right here. Because there's nothing with this -8 on the outside, like directly connected to it, we can just go ahead and combine that with the 7. So that's going to be -1. And then the grouping symbols are finished. So we're going to move on to the exponents. So the exponents, there's this one right here. And so you want to be very careful not to do plus plus. When you do plus plus, that actually means you're down here at the adding and subtracting stage. So you have to get rid of the exponents before you start doing any plus plus. So -8 squared, when you type that into Desmos, you want to make sure that you put parentheses around it so that it's squaring it like that. If you don't, it will only put, it'll only square the 8. And we all know that negative times a negative is a positive, hopefully by now. So please make sure that you always put parentheses around. And don't put them around like on the outside. This doesn't help. You want to make sure that you put them around just the 8 on there, okay? All right, so that's going to be 64. And we're going to bring down that subtraction sign since it's still there. And then we're going to get a +4. And so the last thing is going to be, this is a -60 for our final answer. Now you can go in and check your answer. So I'm going to just dual screen this really quickly. So if you're trying to check your whole answer for this problem, we can plug it in just like it appears in this step here. So I'm going to plug that in. So on this, I'm going to type in -4 parentheses Desmos. Oops, I hit the wrong parentheses. Desmos will automatically, I don't know what I was going to say there. I'm really out of sorts. I'm so sorry. All right, so -8 plus 7, and I'm just going to type it in exactly as it would appear then when I substituted it. -8 in parentheses and a squared. All right, and you get -60. So you can do a quick check afterwards to make sure that your answer is correct. All right, for this one, I'm going to go ahead and plug in, and we're going to talk about this guy because we didn't do the other problem. Don't worry about that last problem in your notebook. We'll do that later this week. And so I'm going to plug in the 4. I guess I can use yellow now. So this is going to go in for the x. So that's like 17, 28, and 3. So you probably have not seen this I'm going to just kind of like scratch draw it. I'll just do it right here. This symbol here. So the way that reads is that's the cube root. And it's different than the square root. Square roots, we're basically looking for, when we say square root of 25, we're looking for, okay, what when I square it, I get 25, right? That's 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Cube root, you're looking for what number when I cube it, or multiply it by itself 3 times, do I get that number? So if you think about 8, what number do you multiply by itself 3 times? That's going to be 2, because 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 to the third power is 8. You can find the cube root in the calculator, but it's in a very tricky location. So let me show you where it is. You have to pull up the keyboard. So if you're on a desktop, make sure you click on the thing that's like in the bottom left. And you go to Functions and Miscellaneous. So there's like a lot of stuff up here. We're going to click on Miscellaneous. And you're going to click this one that has the little N, what's called the index. And then you can type in the cube root. So it's going to be, I think it's cube root of 728. Okay. So if I do that, 1728, I'm sorry. There we go. It's going to be 12. All right. So then I can go ahead and bring this down. Now, this -4 that's out front, from the negative and then also the 4, it's being multiplied by the cube root of 1728, which is, let me just double check one more time because I'm getting interrupted a lot. Let's see, 12. Okay, good. All right, so you're going to, anytime there's a number sitting next to the cube root, or square root for that matter, like if you had 2 and then this, that's just 2 times 5 once you go to simplify it. So then you're going to keep bringing the little baby 3 down. And then when I multiply these together, I get -48 to the third power. So let me see. So that would be oops. The nice thing about Desmos is when you make mistakes, it's so easy to fix it. The undo button, right? So I hit the A to the B button and then the 3. So it's -64. Nope, it's 48. I forgot the 8. Okay, so yeah, I was like looking for that number, -110,592. Okay, so let me see. Such a weird answer, but sometimes you'll get answers like that. Okay. Let's see. So again, if you need to go back and like rewatch this because you're like trying to practice it, that's a great idea. That's a nice thing about being on a video. So the last one here, we have x is equal to 16. So I'm going to put 16 in here. And then we have, let's use green, we have y is equal to 32. So I'm going to put 32 there. All right, so when I plug it in, I'm going to put parentheses around my numbers. The reason we do that is to make sure we don't drop operations. Now, let me fill the rest of this in. All right, underneath that cube root in the top row, that's a grouping symbol in there because it's 2y is 2 times y, so we're going to do 2 times 32, which is 64. And then it's like not a lot of room on here. Okay, let me like squash this. You guys are seeing all the magic of the Notability app. It's an amazing app. All right, so once you get that, we're going to go ahead and do 16 squared and then -4 over -4 because the square root of 16 is -4. So or 4, and then the negative out front just makes it negative. All right, and then 16 squared. I should have. I mean, like I've memorized this so many times, but today is. There we go. It's not the day. So let's see. 16 squared, 256. That's what I thought. I should have just went with it. All right, so 256. Sometimes I'm like you guys are. You know, I just checked just in case. And then we can subtract the numerators together to get 252 over -4. And that is going to be negative 63 would be your final for that one. Okay. All right, to make sure you follow the hub agenda, so you're going to work on this, and then you're going to complete a self-paced Pear Deck. So the self-paced Pear Deck is going to be posted, and you can use your pencil, or I'm sorry, not your pencil, your mouse, or if you have like a tablet, like any kind of tablet, you can just go to the web browser and type in the link for the puzzle. Or you can use, if you have the XP pen that I talked to you guys about earlier in the year, you can plug that in and use it. So you're just going to solve it, and then I'll send you some feedback over the weekend to give you some feedback, and then just finish your exit ticket after that. So as a reminder too, you have your homeworks due Monday. So that's weekly review 1.1, math base 1.1, and the ed puzzle 1.1. So make sure all three of those things get done. And if you have any questions, you can email me. I'm just going to be in and out a little bit today, doing stuff with my dog. So, alrighty. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a nice weekend.